We went to the airport, got on a flight, met up with everybody, me, Parks, Dowdy. The first thing we did was we landed, we went to the Whitewater Center, which is like so unreal, dude. It's like a playground.
It was really fun, great way to start the trip. Not only that, but like the whole place is lined with this like, probably a little steeper, like a 45-degree angle, but it was like really smooth. I think they do it so that if someone fell out of a raft there, they could pretty much climb out of the water anywhere on the facility. So we kind of took advantage of that.
So yeah, then we road tripped to Wrightsville Beach, met up with Sam Baker. His spot is absolutely unreal, dude.
So we woke up bright and early the next morning, hit it, and got some of probably the best conditions that we've got the entire trip.
Yeah, so on the drive into Wrightsville, me and Steele were just peering out the window and we found this spot that had all these crazy dead trees, and so the plan was on the way out of Wrightsville when we went to leave, we'd stop at this spot and check it out. So we ended up finding this bridge, and underneath the bridge were old railroad ties that maybe, you know, gated off the waterway or whatever the situation was.
Dowdy, we're all up on the bridge, and Dowdy was like the first one to like jump down, and before you know it, he was like down there like taking off pieces of wood and shaving it. So I was like, man, I think Dowdy's definitely manning up to hit this thing.
Then he gets a sick backflip and he wants to hit it again. We're like, all right, yeah, go for it. And this time he cuts it a little too hard, gets up on top of it, and then all I remember is him completely, his board's going, cut.
I didn't know what it was at first, and then he just stopped. Like he was probably sliding like 15 miles an hour and just like stopped on an impact and like ripped his whole jacket off, ripped his shirt off, and he's just sitting in the water, and everyone's just like, are you okay?
We get him out of the water and he's just bleeding out of his back. He has this massive gas, and then he's like kind of like unable to move, getting dizzy, losing his sight. So we're like, all right, let's get this dude to the hospital. Let's get him like cleaned up, stitched up, figure out what's going on. 6-7 hours to get 30 stitches and clean up. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to scrub the cut. Like, and he's like, what? Yeah, scrub it clean. So he's freaking out, and I'm just like, this is gonna be so cool to watch.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. After the ER visit last night, we drove 3 hours and made it here to Charleston. And then unfortunately, because of my crash, you know, I'm not much good for riding at the moment, so I'm leaving all the boys early, which I'm obviously not stoked on, but I was stoked to be a part of this trip, and yeah, I don't know, hopefully we can make the next one last a little longer.
So then last night after Dowdy left, we were pretty amped to come ride in front of this bridge, you know, it looks insane. Like, let's get out there, let's go check some stuff out, and it was gnarly. So like, we were like, tried to pull a double up, and the boat just like jumped over all the, it was like ridiculous, and there's no, like, I don't even know why I even got in the water. Like, Parks was tossing me into some shit, like, for sure. He was just like, yeah, dude, like, go out there. Like, he knew he wasn't gonna ride, so he was just like, you go out there and get something. But we ended up calling it, like, there's no way anything was gonna happen.
Tomorrow morning, light winds, smooth butter water, which is what we came here to get. Yeah, so we checked the weather report and said that the wind was going to be light and variable, only blowing like 2 to 3 mile an hour. So we decided to go out and get it in the morning. So it's pretty crazy just to look at, to drive over, and then to wakeboard underneath on glass water was like pretty freaking cool. It's like this crazy industrial part of the intercoastal down there. So there's like these huge like freighter ship that had like towards the back, it looked like all the freights were off of it. So it was sitting higher in the water typically than it was.
And everyone's like, yeah, just slice up against it. And people's like, dude, I'm gonna get pitted.
I got some pretty sweet carve shots of myself in the past, but this one's definitely my new favorite for sure.
Being able to travel with Parks and Dowdy and go to cool places and share the love of wakeboarding with all the locals and check out like their riding spots is so rad.
You know, we had some ups, some downs and stuff, but you know, that's how like trips go. So you got to battle the variables and go with the flows, and like every trip, you know, doesn't always work out exactly as planned, but you know, that's the beauty of going out and free riding and not doing contests and doing stuff like this, because you can go and adapt to it and like do it on the fly, and it always comes out more fresh and original than you always intended going into the project. So I think it ended up, you know, chalk this up as a win. I had a blast.